Nyler was called Ratty by most people, which was his nickname, and Charlie tells me Nyler picks him up from Exodus, which maybe explains some more Erlance and heroics. I knew that Eric found and beat the fuck out of Nyler a few years ago, but I only found out 4 months ago because Charlie tells me that Nyler picks him up after he climbs the wall and takes him to his house. As soon as this nurse says, chest X-ray, I'm like a fucking lightning bolt calling the head of the hospital. In my soul I know I've just missed him, but he's got to be in LA with Perry Farrell, or Nyler. Where's he going to go? I jump in a cab and go to Nyler's house. I don't know where Perry lives anymore. Rock trivia by the way, when Perry lived on St. Andrews of the Jane Says song, he was the groovy dope dealer of course on the rare occasions. I had the cash for dope. I wasn't cool enough to actually go into the house where Jane lived and Perry dealt, so I'd wait while Finch copped for us. I also wasn't cool enough to get dope from Fabrice, who was the Chili Peppers dealer who killed Hillel Slovak, who died because he was an idiot and did dope alone, which if you watch Jesus' Son, it illustrates exactly why people who do dope alone die, and people who don't live. I'm calling Eric in Seattle and screaming at him to check the airline schedule. The assholes at Exodus won't confirm whether Kurt's gone. Interestingly, I don't know of one person who went to Exodus and stayed clean. Isn't that funny? Got to have a rehab that doesn't work in LA, I guess. They are being dicks. But I know that getting a chest X-ray means they can't find him. Charlie Cross, the guy who wrote the book coming out, thinks Kurt was there at Nyler's house. Now I know why Eric stalked him. Eric Nyler and his creepy girlfriend are no longer with us here in LA, but I did recently hear his name when a certain, very brilliant and very fucked up actress that most people who like a lot, who's sweet and lovely and a fucking mess, asks me in the bathroom at the Golden Globes if I want to go to Nyler's house with her before we go to the parties. I didn't know you're allowed to be a junkie and a movie star. They told me you weren't. I felt really bad for her mostly. I looked at her tracks and thought, how the fuck is Nyler still even dealing dope? And why the hell does she think I still do it? Like I would ever stick a needle in me after all this shit. Anyway, yeah, me and Charlene Tilton, you get it here first. I believe that Kurt was in the back room at Nyler's. He copped and got on a plane to Seattle. You know who was on that plane? Duff McKagan, Guns N' Roses bassist. They get drunk together on the plane and Duff offers him a ride. Another Charlie fact I had no clue. He declines and takes a cab instead. I am fucked. I know this is fucked, and the sink is going to fall into the floorboards. Eric goes to the house and grabs the guns and bullets. I call Silva. What do I say? Find Christ and get him over to the house and get me a private detective. Silva, now a rich man, says this isn't my job. Call the lawyer. I call the lawyer. She's on vacation. I call the hotel fucking concierge hysterical. We don't have private detectives. I open the yellow pages and just start dialing, and I will always remember this shit. The first guy was from Eagle Detective and I thought he was really scary. Dark little guy. The next guy is our man, Tom whatever, he looks okay, I don't care, I need him to do one thing. Go to Seattle and find this fucking guy. Now he tells me that he comes to the hotel I'm at, a lot, for some hooker business. I can't figure that out now. Is that like blackmailing people with hookers? He tells me some hooker stories. I can't remember. He's with some kid of his too if I recall correctly. I tell him exactly what to do. Keep one guy at the house and let Kurt be. Do not try to get him to go to rehab. Let him know I don't care and don't try to stop dealers from being at the house, or hell just go to their house. Go to the Carnation house and check every room, the basement, garage, the whole thing, and this idiot goes up there and I have to call the cops, because he doesn't, he's too stupid. I tried hiring a second guy right away as soon as I sent him because he was trying to leave the next day and I said, no. You fucking leave now. Anyway, my door knocks in the morning and it's fucking Eric. Why the fuck is the one person who can prevent this in LA? I heard you were dead and Kurt was here. Get back on the plane. We both looked at each other and I just knew Eric went to go get back on the plane. And then I call Nyler to get some drugs for fuck's sake. I call my mother-in-law to come take care of my kid and Nyler comes or someone of his people and gives me some shitty little bit of drugs, which I do but it's crap, and then my arm explodes into a rash of shit. Want me to keep going? So I call downstairs because my arm's blowing up. Meanwhile, I am on the phone with stupid-ass fat-ass Yellow Pages private investigator, who is not doing what I am telling him to do, and the concierge brings me some Benadryl, which I take and my arm stops exploding. I start to pack and I cancel Kurt's fucking ATM so he can't withdraw any more money, that way he has to call me. I call the fucking manager again, and tell him Kurt's going to die. He now says, well, there is nothing we can do at this point. I ask has he called Chris to go to the house. Chris doesn't feel this is his responsibility anymore, and then knock knock, it's the fucking cops. West Hollywood Sheriff's Department. I shit you not, this guy is named Detective Butt Kiss, pronounced Butt Kiss. I get a traffic ticket from this fucker years later. He pulls me and Norton over in West Hollywood, walks up to the car and sees me, and without one word he turns on his heels and runs to his car, fucking pussy, and his squad. The concierge boy has noticed my state, and, let's not discuss that. I have the hotel hold my phone for everyone but my husband, and a month later I see the phone bill, and on April 3rd, at 7-something a.m. there's a call from our private line to the hotel, and they didn't put it through at the Sweet Peninsula Hotel where I will not enter, ever, under any circumstance. But Kiss goes through my shit, and he finds one of Steve Scappa's prescription pads the fool left in my room. A fucking doctor leaves his pad, in my room. Then they go through my safe and steal my pearls and a ring, and there's my lawyer's idiot Usher Mashes. The very best day of my life to have idiot Usher Mashes from her fool guru that manifests necklaces, and turns them into ashes. This is her and her husband's yearly fucking India pilgrimage. It's fucking ash, I say. Yeah right. They cuff my ass and haul me into the jailhouse. I am sitting there in the Beverly Hills police station, and I get this flash in my head, and I see a flash. I cannot explain this, and no one here really knows me, so I'm just venting things. I don't even talk about it except to Jim and to Edward and Eric, but I see it, and feel it, and I know. I know. All of a sudden the lawyer appears, a criminal lawyer, my LA lawyer who has magically appeared, you know, the one on vacation who could not find a real private investigator, and she takes me to Exodus now because I'm like a group homegirl and no one wants me. I leave Frances with her and wait for her grandmother to come, and I sleep. I wake up, and the television is on the Hospital Nature Cancer People station. There's a wren and sparrow in a golden field. It's just images you watch while you die. I go to touch the remote, but I don't. Something stops me. I just don't change the channel. I'm in the hospital, not the rehab part. I guess I just need to be in a hospital. I don't know, and Rosemary walks into my room. She looks dead, and I scream. And scream. And scream, and I think it's an overdose, because Eric took the guns out, and I don't find out it's not an overdose until way after all the rest of, you know what the fucker did. And that's almost the end. Oh yeah, except Steve Scappa, the idiot won't give me a Valium. He's still, you know, in control because he does such a great job of controlling this insane situation. I get a jet and grab my fucking kid, and walk into that fucking greenhouse, and fuck you. Are those assholes even relevant to this story anymore? Shall I tell you what the people at the funeral home did to his little body? Shall I? Yeah, well, I fucking won't. Shall I tell you what the people at the coroner did to his hair? His toenails? His clothes? His pubic hair? Shall I? You haven't seen shit. How about that?